Harry Styles has come far from his auditions as a solo candidate on the British show The X Factor. Now he has one of the biggest names in the music industry, and what's not to love about this millionaire? Among the first set of people to see his huge potential was Simon Cowell, who signed him and 4 others into Psycho Records in 2011 to form the band One Direction. From then on, there has been nowhere else to go but up. Yes, the band did split up back in 2015, but individually, they have gone on to amass so much wealth, with Harry Styles being the richest, with a net worth of close to a whopping $90 million. Now that's amazing. If you were worth even half of this amount, what would you spend your money on? Well, at least we know what Harry Styles is spending his on, so let's have a little fun by checking out the top 10 things Harry Styles spends his millions on. 10. Hair. Just like many others, the 26-year-old Harry Styles loves to style his hair, so of course he has to go all out when it comes to grooming. Harry has always looked amazing with his glossed, wavy brown hair. When he was still a member of One Direction, making their hair look fabulous was a top priority. They allegedly spent as much as $60,000 on grooming alone. It really comes to no surprise that they spent this much on taking care of their unique hairstyles, but if we do say so ourselves, that's money well spent. Harry Styles has celebrity hairstylist Louise Tisdale to thank for his hair, as she uses great products including the Bastis dry shampoo and Bumble surf spray. She also revealed that she gets good payment for her services, and that's well deserved. 9. Celebrity pictures for his wall. Well, what can I say? If you are as rich as Harry Styles, you wouldn't mind splurging your money on things that regular people would pay so little for. One of those things is celebrity photos. Harry Styles loves to cover his wall with photos of celebrities, and he doesn't spare any expenses either. He got pictures of Kate Moss and Rihanna for a whopping $130,000, taken by female graffiti artists Bambi and Banksy. Harry bought these pictures for only one reason: to simply adorn his walls. This was back in 2012, and at the time, Brad Pitt also owned a picture from Bambi. The anonymous Bambi has lots of celebrity fans, and she charges quite a lot for her graffiti images. And while we wonder why it had to be this expensive, I'm sure Harry doesn't mind this microscopic dent in his bank account. 8. Secondhand items. Many of you might find this shocking, but Harry Styles loves to buy second-hand items from a shop called Mr. Allsorts in North London. What's even more surprising about this is that they are an assortment of strange things, but they sure mean something to Harry. He loves vintage items and has spent more than $17,000 on these retro items, including animal horns, an old clock, a Union flag, and a huge R symbol. This shop was also the former home of an old cash till, which Harry bought for $700. He takes so much delight in spending his hard-earned money on things like this, and I'm sure the shop owner is pleased every time Harry returns. 7. Expensive watches. If you thought those vintage items were expensive, wait till you hear that Harry rocks an Audemars Piguet watch, which is worth more than $30,000. This is no ordinary watch by any stretch of the imagination, as it is made up of 40 jewels and 280 individual parts. This luxurious timepiece also has an 18-karat pink gold clasp. The celebrity singer definitely rocks this wristwatch as much as he can, and he has been spotted wearing it several times throughout the years. However, this is not the only watch in his collection with a high price tag. His love for all things vintage also reflects in his choice of wristwatches, as he got himself a vintage Rolex watch, which is valued at about $13,000. This watch, which is unlike what a lot of young celebrities would prefer in 2014, was worn to the American Music Awards that same year, with its silvered dial, streamlined markets, dagger-style baton hands, and fancy teardrop lugs. Vintage watch lovers will be salivating at the thought of owning a piece of this reference 4332 stainless steel. Although it is much smaller than a lot of everyday wristwatches, it still has that elegant finish that sets it apart from the modern models. 6. Car collection. There seems to be an unspoken rule about millionaires owning a car collection, and Harry Styles has quite an amazing one in his classy garage. He obviously loves clean and fast rides and doesn't think twice about dropping big bucks for them. In his car collection are 2 Ferraris, the Ferrari California, which is worth about $250,000, and the Ferrari 1972 Dyno 246 GT, which reportedly costs around $200,000. But that's not all, and not even the most expensive cars in his collection. He loves to move around in his Porsche 911 Sport Classic, valued at $330,000. Occasionally, he steps out in the Ford Capri 1970, worth $15,000, another sign of his love for vintage items. Other cars in his collection are the Audi R8 Coupe, worth $80,000, the Jaguar E-Type Roadster, worth $150,000, a classic Mercedes-Benz, valued at $50,000, and the Range Rover Sport he purchased at $95,000. Whew, that's more than $1 million on cars alone. 5. Paintings. As an art enthusiast, Harry Styles has a thing for paintings and definitely has the money to spend on purchasing any of his choices. Unlike a lot of art lovers, Harry can buy a single painting for as much as $3.9 million without flinching, which is exactly what he did. This star also purchased a piece of artwork from the late Haitian American artist Jean Michel for almost the same price as his 4-bedroom mansion, and this was in the early 20s. Back in 2014, Harry spent about $33,000 on original pieces from the controversial artist Hayden Case. These unique artworks were about $1,500 each, but that's not even the most fascinating thing about them. It's in the theme. Although they do not feature any naked bodies, they give off provocative and sexual vibes, with some being downright hilarious, which has always been Hayden's style. However, at that price tag for hand-type pieces, we could say a lot of work goes into it. A lot of art lovers will agree that no amount is too much to spend on a great piece of artwork. 4. A party house. Worth a breathtaking $3.8 million, the Party House is a 2,300 square feet luxury pad in North London that is large enough to accommodate lots of celebrities, including his then One Direction members, for the occasional party. Even rich people are allowed to unwind after a long week of making money. This party house is exactly that, and also has incredible features to fit its massive price tag. First is the southwest-facing garden, which is large enough for a banging outdoor party. It is also fitted with Ibiza-styled lounges for those lazy days where everyone just wants to soak in some sun. This high-end property has 3 bathrooms, 3 huge living rooms, and 4 bedrooms. Of course, this pad wouldn't be complete without a befitting space to satisfy his passion for cars. It has a double car lift with about 4 areas for parking cars. Harry Styles sure has exquisite taste in properties. 3. Taking up the bar tabs. If you happen to be hanging out at the same bar as the lovable and sociable Harry Styles, you may not be the one taking up your bar tab for the night. How awesome would it be to be out on a Friday night in the same bar as a celebrity who doesn't mind picking up the tab? Harry loves to hang out with his friends at different state-of-the-art bars, and he's always generous with his money on such nights. On one of those occasions, where he was out having fun with friends at Soho House in Los Angeles, he was reported to have paid for everyone's drink at the bar. Of course, the lucky ones who benefited from the gesture weren't quite about it and tweeted about it on their Twitter pages. 2. Protecting himself. If there is one thing most celebrities have to struggle with, it's stalkers. Harry Styles had his fair share of this with the creepy stalker saga by a homeless man named Pablo Tarazaga Oreiro being his absolute tipping point. Back in 2019, Harry saw the 26-year-old homeless man sleeping at a bus stop not so far from his $3.9 million London property. The star felt sorry for him and decided to buy this man some food, thinking he was so young to be living such a rough life. Apparently, him being nice at that moment backfired, as he had to endure 3 months of tension. After buying the homeless man some food from a close-by vegan cafe, the Spaniard stalked him continuously. He would send money and notes through his letterbox and follow Harry when he visited pubs. When his behavior escalated into grabbing him while jogging in a park and exhibiting other frightening behavior, Harry had no choice but to report to the police. However, this didn't stop Tarazago Oriro from camping outside his home every day. He even once told Harry's neighbor that he was spiritually protecting him and they were soulmates. Finally, he was taken to court, where it became obvious that he hadn't been staying at the bus stop just by chance, but knew Harry lived close by. This experience shook him so much that after Pablo was found guilty, Harry still felt unsafe in his home. Harry went ahead to create a fortress for his safety by spending millions on real estate. He bought a property at a corner and those next to his home to make it inaccessible to stalkers. Really, who can blame him? 1. Properties. Harry's love for the luxurious lifestyle also extends to his choice of properties. As a celebrity that splits his time between London and the United States, Harry has an apartment in New York with 3 homes in North London. He bought his first home in Hampstead, North London, back in 2012, while his second and third followed in 2019 and 2020 respectively. Each of these properties cost around $3.9 million, with one costing $10 million and his most recent about $5 million. We can't fault his tastes, as all these properties have magnificent interiors with even more exquisite outdoor finishing. He's reportedly planning a mega project that will have him merging his London homes. And we have come to the end of our video, guys. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel so you can be the first to see what we have planned for our next video.